When the Crusaders conquered Jerusalem, for example, they massacred the entire city population. Not only the Jews, of course, but also the Muslims and all of the the Eastern Christians were massacred as well. So they massacred the entire city population. The Jews were burned alive in their synagogues as the Crusaders are singing, "This is the Lord, this is the day the Lord has made. Let's rejoice and be glad in that." That's what the song. I'm serious. Okay, what I want to tell you. Usually on the first day I'm saying what I'm about to say, so I'm sharing so much about what Joel said about Moses. Look like with a telescope, looking to the future. Book of Deuteronomy 35, telling them what will be, and that's actually the history of the Jewish people or the Israelites. We like to call it Historia Lacrimosa, of miseries, of tears and suffering. Now, you're going to hear many times that the Jews left their land 2,000 years ago, which is incorrect. 2,000 years ago, the Romans destroyed our temple, and that was the traumatic event. And indeed, some of the Jews were taken as slaves to Rome. But actually, the Jews were still here. And as Jerusalem was destroyed, the Galilee became the center of the Jewish world. So after the year of 70, the Galilee became a substitute to Jerusalem. That's where they sealed the oral text, the Mishnah, Judah the Prince. So the Jews were still here. Now, the Romans massacred the entire Jewish population of Judea in a year of 135 AD. But the Jews were still here. And actually on the 4th, the 5th, the 6th centuries during the Byzantine time, we're talking about 1.5 million Jews still living in the land of Israel. Out of 3.5 million population, 1.5 million Jews were still living here. And only when the Muslim came, and we're talking about the 7th century AD and the 8th century AD, the Muslims gave the Jews 3 choices. Get Muslim, get killed, or go away. So some of the Jews became Muslims, some of the Jews got killed, and some of the Jews went away. But so we've been forced to leave our land 1,300 years ago. And we always came back every time we had the chance. But we came back for religion reasons and not national reasons. So the Jews always came back, whatever they could. After saying that, I want to talk for a few minutes about the Jews living under the cross and under the crescent. Under the crescent, and the Christians were living submissive to the Muslims. Every year, the Jew had to come to the Muslim ruler kneeling, yes, like walking on his knees, and offering a ransom, jizya, so they will spare his life. They were not allowed to ride a horse, not allowed to hold a weapon. Means everybody can do whatever they want to you. Okay? They have to walk in the middle of the street where the sewage goes. And in some places they make them wear specific hats so they'll be able to recognize them. But if you compare what the Jews experience under the cross, under the crescent, it's nothing compared to what the Jews suffered under the cross. And if you check, and I'm not going to do it now, but if you check what the fathers of the early fathers of the church wrote about the Jews, oh my gosh. I have a great friend, pastor from Washington State. He once took me to Crusaders Nights in Akko. And it's not biblical site, so I was like, Eran, take me there. I've been in Israel several times. I want to see this. It's a World Heritage site and Crusader site. And he started reading the most boring stuff like just reading, scriptures about how the fathers of the church describe the Jews. And I thought, oh my gosh, this pastor is going to talk. But you know what? He was doing it for 15 minutes. As a guy that will never do it, like reading text but it just became worse and worse and worse. And suddenly it's like entered the mind, and everybody were bursting in tears when they heard it. The Jews were accused to be devil worshippers. They worship devil in their, yes, this is what we call the replacement theology. The Jews are devil worshippers. The Jews need the blood of innocent Christian boys, to make the unleavened bread for Passover. So in this time of the year in Europe, for centuries. I'm not talking about one, I'm talking about hundreds of documented cases. That's called the blood label. When the snow melts, sometimes kids drown because the ice breaks and little kids disappear, or some other horrible things. You immediately accuse the Jews. I'm not talking about one crazy anti-Semite. I'm talking about church doctrine. The Jews need the blood of innocent Christian boys to make the unleavened bread for Passover. So in this time of the year, before the Passover, the most horrible trial, and you know what? The Jews admit it. Because the way they did it in the medieval days, you put you on a torturing wheel to get your confession. You're gonna confess to everything. So we have document, and you know what? The Jews, we have murders, we have robbers, we have rapists, we have like any other nation. But one thing we don't do, we don't mix blood with our food.
Yeah.
That's complete lie. Okay, the Jews will never do anything like this. Friends, these blood labels, those persecutions. Okay, the Jews, a little bit more, you're still listening. The Jews were not allowed to own land, not allowed to have Christians working for them. They were pushed to do only certain professions, like doctors, yes, and bankers. That was the most despised professions.
So they couldn't.
Because the Christians understood the scriptures literally. You're not allowed to give money loan to your brother. And the Jews were sinners, so they gave the sinners to do the sin. And if you don't want to pay your bank debts, you just kill the Jews. Like how they built the Versailles Palace in France, they loaned money from the Jews and never returned it. They just deported the Jews from France. What happened when the Spain kings wanted to conquer Grenada? They took money for the war, and after this, the Spanish expelled. Basically, cut the story short, we've been expelled from any European country, from all of them. Okay? And we were the different ones. And I can understand it, why you hate the different, but it's a crazy history. Okay? So that's important to be said. And of course, we didn't have a chance to speak about the Holocaust. But you know what? I want to say something about this as well. And I know it's going to be hard. Just because I feel comfortable with you, I'm telling that to you. And also, some Christians want to speak to the Jews and tell them about Jesus. Okay, so I want to tell you, you're not be the first one to try and do that. Mothers, I told you I was crying on Lisbon. Jewish mothers were burned alive because they refused to baptize their kids in the main square by the Inquisition.
Yes.
And it's happened so much times throughout the history. And it's important for me to tell you that when you come to a Jew and you tell him about Jesus, he's not going to think about your Jesus, because he never read the New Testament. He doesn't know the teaching of Jesus. Because if you knew the teaching of Jesus, you were actually going to like it. Yes, because Jesus is also about love and grace. But he never read the New Testament. Okay? Because you remember what people did in the name of Jesus. So when you tell him about Jesus, he will not think about your Jesus. He's going to think about the Nazis. He's going to think about the Crusaders. He's going to think about the Spanish and the Portuguese Inquisition. That's what the Jew will think about. So my advice to my Christian friends: don't preach to the Jews. Set an example to them. Or what they really going to melt their heart is unconditioned love. because they always think they're going to have you don't really love them, you're just trying to convert them. But if you tell them, hey, of course I want you to know Jesus, but if you don't know Jesus, I just love you just the same. Okay, that's going to melt their heart because they're not used to that. Okay, so that's my. And something I need to say about the Nazis, of course, you're going to tell me right now, hey, those were not Christians. I'm agree with you, okay? But 90% of European people during before the Second World War went to churches every Sunday. Okay, that was done on a Christian land against his people. And if Jesus was alive, he would put in a gas chambers. Okay. And more than that, the Germans went to churches every Sunday, okay, Nazi SS officers, the buckle belt, you know what was written on it? God is with us, which is his name, Emmanuel. Like on the buckle belt of those SS officers, that's what was written. So I believe it's devil work. It's my own personal belief, but it's just important for us to be aware of all that. I hope I'm not making it too sad for one moment. All right.
We cry over it also. It breaks our heart.
But it's important. It's important to know how it's been, how the Jews understand it, and we need to know the history so we know to. And you are by coming over here, I think you are a part of the healing of that. Okay, you're coming here to the modern state, Jewish state of Israel. So you are part of this healing. You're going to be on a similar way that I'm bringing the people of Israel to you. I'm also bringing you to the people of Israel. And by you coming over here, that you meet the locals. They know a different kind of Christians, and they know a different kind of Christianity as well. Okay, so it's a part of healing those Jewish Christian relationships as